good, everyone? This is Sam with Press Turn. I'm just doing this first reaction video, actually, but don't expect any screaming or hype from me. This is actually like a week later, so I'm just doing this to complete effectively part two of the podcast I did with Derek previously, which mainly covered the Game Fest and the Xbox and Bethesda presentation. And this is really like the next big one that I think a lot of people were looking forward to. So yeah, I already kind of know everything, so I'm just gonna give more fleshed out opinions, and I'm not gonna exactly cover everything, just like whatever were the big ones. So just expect this recording to skip back and forth. Not really a proper podcast episode, but again, this is just to complete like the entire coverage that the podcast is doing right now. And with that, we'll just go ahead and start with obviously the Smash reveal. So I wasn't exactly sure at this point until, yeah, like about here where I started to get like, oh, this is totally Tekken. And I thought it was going to be Heihachi. And then here was when I lost it. It was just like, oh, it's Kazuya. Which I think personally that's a much better pick than going with Heihachi. And I guess it's just like, it's kind of like a good gesture that it doesn't make people think about PlayStation All-Stars Battle Royale. Man, that's a mouthful, I just realized. But yeah, this is really cool. I think this is kind of like an expansion of what they wanted to do with Ryu and Terry Bogard. Also, this is really funny. Just Captain Falcon, Pit later, Min Min. Oh, sorry. Marth. Is that actually a reaction to the amount of people on Twitter complaining about Fire Emblem characters? Maybe it is, but I don't know. I think this is probably what a lot of people are kind of afraid of, though, once he comes out, is how is Devil Form going to work. Because if it works something like how Sephiroth's, oh jeez, what's it called again? Like Sephiroth's one wing angel form, then that could be a problem. Because I know like characters like Joker and Sephiroth were really tough to deal with when they were first included. So also this was really funny too. Just peeking over. Nice. Kirby can escape.
Hello, I'm Masahiro Sakurai from Sora Limited and the director of the Super Smash Bros. Ultimate.
So yeah, pretty straightforward. I'm not gonna let this continue, just mainly because it's just showing off small combo footage. Maybe I'll do a more fresh react when Sakurai does the character breakdown when Kazuya is released. I really like these breakdowns that Sakurai does. I think it's like a very interesting format, and it's kind of something where it's like yeah, it's a fully scripted presentation, but I think it's very interesting just to get like an actual perspective from a Japanese dev, because you don't really see that all too often. And nowadays, like, with some devs like Soken for the FF14 or for the FF14 franchise for the FF14 game. Oh my goodness, I'm sorry. And Sakurai just doing these more in-depth talks, I think it's very interesting because you really don't see these kind of behind the scenes type of coverage with Japanese studios, especially.
Your
Okay.
choices matter in these emotional, supernatural tales.
Yeah, so I'll be fully honest. I've never really latched onto Life is Strange. It never interested me, um, even with the first one, and then just like learning more about it as time went on and seeing like the new installments, it just made me like not interested in it less and less. I think it definitely has its place, obviously. With the type of story it's trying to tell, uh, and you just don't see these types of stories being done in a mainstream environment. So I think it is important that um, these types of stories are pushed more in games. Just because we live in a modern world, and there's a lot of things within the video game community that aren't
Life is Strange, True Colors launches on Nintendo Switch.
that aren't pushed as strongly. You really only see this in like the independent scene, where there's a lot more freedom for people to just express their own personal views. And like if you go on like itch.io, there are tons of games like this that are just people expressing their views, opinions, and their own personal life stories, which I think is what makes those types of games a lot more strong. Whereas I think with Life is Strange, it it might appeal to some of that crowd, but it may not appeal entirely to. It might not. It might not appeal to the entire LGBT community. Sorry, I realize I'm missing some acronyms in there. I don't know it fully well. I apologize for that. But yeah, I don't know. I think it's good either way. This is just, I mean, like, at the very least, Square Enix isn't just entirely sleeping on the other games that they publish. It's not just a Final Fantasy studio anymore, but at the same time, we didn't talk about it a whole lot, Derek and I, in the last podcast, but it it definitely kind of feels like Square Enix isn't really utilizing their publishing side as much as we were led to believe. So I kind of want to see more. Like, I don't really just want to see just Tomb Raider, Hitman, and Life is Strange, and then just some one-offs here and there, rarely even. But yeah, I mean, either way, it's good that this studio is getting more coverage wherever they go. Like these small studios, they need more time to get their name cemented into the people's thought. So, either way, okay, next one.
There's something for everyone on the Nintendo Switch system. You are Star-Lord, leading a legendary band of heroes for hire in this thrilling action-adventure game. Jump on a wild ride across the cosmos, overwhelm opponents with Star-Lord's daring combat style, and encounter iconic and original Marvel characters. You'll call the shots for the unpredictable Guardians as you face cosmic threats to save the galaxy.
I mean, I don't know. It's like... I think the presentation that they've done with this game, it's sorry, I'm gonna be doing this a lot. Remember, this is not a fresh react. This is just more of like an impressions thing. With yeah, like obviously some of these character models look a lot better. I think and it's not just the studio. I think it's just like the whole Marvel image in general is really what's problematic for uh, for like trying to draw appeal to these games from Square Enix. It has nothing to do with the IP or the studio. I think it's really just like, like the devs constantly say that they're not trying to tie in the cinematic universe, and yet, like you're constantly seeing them like try to like I mean, look at this screenshot right here. Like it's obviously not Chris Pratt as Star Lord, but they're obviously trying to go for that, right? And oh my goodness, actually, I just realized this almost looks identical to how Captain America looked, at least to me, from the Avengers game. Not the same studio, by the way. I believe this one is being produced or developed by Eidos Montreal, which, I mean, to be fair, Eidos Montreal has a better track record with their games, even if I think it's mostly legacy games that they've worked on. I mean, I don't know. Like, it could be good. I think it's interesting that they included this, like, it could be or it could not be, like, nuanced dialogue system, and that could play into it. Just because, like, with an IP like Guardians of the Galaxy, I think there's a bit more room to play it a bit more loosely, where, Star Lord can be a bit more cavalier, because that's kind of to be expected. He's not exactly a hero, like a hero in the sense like Captain America is. Like, the Guardians are mercenaries first. Like, that's pretty much it. So this could be interesting. I don't know.
Pretty
We'll have
cool.
to
Guardian
see.
26. Arena-based shooter. You'll squish your invertebrate opponents in 32-player cross-platform combat. Play
I think this
daily
is fun.
challenges, battle modes, and seasonal events to worm your way up
The
the
problem
ranks.
is, like, this footage does not
Plus, the Patchwork Bear
give,
outfit,
like,
exclusive
the
to
best
Nintendo Switch
impression,
version, will be available for
visually.
free for 2 weeks after launch.
Like,
a new map, Spaceport Showdown, launches with Worms Rumble.
yeah,
wriggling
like,
onto
that
Nintendo
frame rate,
Switch June 23rd.
it doesn't
Get
look
a
great.
25% discount when
And
you
it's like-
pre-order the game starting today on Nintendo
Like, Worms
eShop.
isn't exactly a graphics intensive type of game,
The
so it doesn't really make
fantastical realm of
sense
Orcanon awaits.
that it looks like that. Like, it's just like, uh, like, all in all, Worms is a good time, and if you love it, you'll play it regardless. But it's just like, it's starting to come to the point where it's like, it's a little tiring to see a lot of games that seem like they underperform on the Switch, when there are plenty of other graphics intensive looking games like Breath of the Wild, Persona 5 Strikers, like games that feel like they could almost be next gen, like PS4, Xbox One type games. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, like, it is what it is, but I think it's like, especially when it's a game like Worms, that performance has got to be spot on, especially if you want it to survive on this Switch. I think that's the problem too, is since I believe this Worms game is multi-platform, so there may not have been enough time to make this look as good as probably the other console ports and PC as well. So that's unfortunately a shame. But anyway, yeah, let's go on to Astria
As you
Ascending.
explore this fully hand-painted world, you'll customize a team of demigods and unleash devastating attacks and captivating turn-based combat. Astria Ascending
So,
launches on Nintendo Switch September 30th.
kind of gives me a Darkest Dungeon type of feel, with the foreman and stuff. Wow, that was really short. I forgot. Yeah, it's just like, I don't know. It kind of looks like whatever. I'd be interested in checking it out. But I don't know. There's got to be more to it if you really want to sell me on it. And that's basically all I have to
Return
say.
to the funny,
So,
charming, and quirky world of 2 Point County. In the wholesome management sim 2 Point Campus, you'll build and run your very own
oh,
university
it's
the way
just-
you want it.
right.
Lots of creative tools are at your disposal
I-
to make
can
the
I
school
skip
yours
this?
and take your educational
I'll just skip this.
A beloved series rolls into its 20th anniversary this year.
Super Monkey Ball. Okay, so I never actually like fully played a Super Monkey Ball game. I do think it's kind of fun. It's just that I could never really stick with it. I don't know. Maybe it's just because like should actually, man, I really hope my audio comes through because this is quite loud on my end. But anyway, like, I don't know. I guess it's probably because I played Katamari Damacy first that most other rolling games like this, it just doesn't really catch me quite like Katamari Damacy did that first time when I played it. So I don't know. It looks fun though, and I know Monkey Ball has its audience, so I'm sure whoever loves this will have a great time. All those minigames look pretty cool though.
Go
But
bananas
I
when
think I
Super
might be
Monkey
skipping
Ball
this
Banana
because
Mania
of
rolls onto
another
Nintendo
game that's
Switch
coming
October 5th.
up. I'm not sure if it's the next one or...
It's a blast
Yeah, it
from
is.
parties
Okay, so
past,
this is the one.
And you're invited. Ready for another round of Mario Party mayhem? Of course you are. It's a superstar collection of Mario Party boards and minigames.
I just really hope
Live it up on 5
these
classic
don't
boards
include the
from
mini
Nintendo
games that
64
destroyed your
era,
hand on the
including Peach's
Nintendo
birthday
64
cake and Spaceland.
controller.
Each board
I
is packed with
know
zany events
it was really
guaranteed
the
to keep
controller
you on
that
your
did
toes.
most of the damage to
And
people's
when we say zany,
palms, but
we
either way, I
mean
just
it.
don't want to do that.
Jump, connect blocks, and give facelifts in hilarious over-the-top mini games, all of which support
Man, it's
button
crazy
controls.
how
With 100
good
mini
these
games
can
from the
look
Mario
now.
Party series catalog, you'll
And
have
it's
a
like
blast in this
the
all-star
Nintendo
fun fest.
64
Here's a little
version
party favor. All
is
game
like
modes work with
in my
online play.
brain, and just seeing these like
Even if you're partying solo,
like
you can
fully
randomly match with
remastered
other
is
partygoers
kind of crazy.
worldwide. Playing a board game online with friends?
See, now
Your
this is
progress
cool,
in
and
game,
I
grab a snack, then resume the
like I don't really
festivities.
understand why
Stickers are also available
online
to
was
communicate
never
with
a
others.
thing.
It's time
Unless
to
it was,
partay
and I'm
in
just
Mario
dumb.
Party
I'm probably
Superstars,
dumb.
launching
It's
on
okay.
the Nintendo Switch system October 29th.
If I'm dumb,
Pre-orders begin
say it in
today
the
on Nintendo eShop.
comments. Like, subscribe, and hit that, and smash that
What
bell.
did you think? Before we show this next trailer, I'd like to say one thing.
Okay. Yeah, this is the big one. Whoops. Oh no, spoilers. Yeah, wow. So Metroid Dread is straight up Metroid 5. Like, I don't know. I mean, I think that's pretty cool, right? Like, Samus Returns left a really strong impression off of everyone when that game came out. And I mean, like, it seems like there are some people who don't agree with Retro Studios' decisions for the gameplay. But I think obviously it worked, and from what I've heard, like friends and other people from the GUG staff, it does kind of seem like a natural progression of where to take Metroid next. Because, you know, like, with all the other types of games, like search action, Metroidvania, whatever you want to call it, like, there are plenty of other games out already that do something new with this format. So now it's just like, what can the developers do with Metroid that feels new and doesn't take too much from the newcomers, and still makes it feel like truly Metroid. And I think thankfully because it's sci-fi you can do a lot, so. These do look kind of cool though. It kind of makes me wonder, like if you've ever played like any of those Game Boy games of Metal Gear Solid, like those spin-offs or whatever, like what would happen if you took that tactical stealth action game to the next level, like moving forward?
Was the
Like what would that
trailer
look
for the
like in
first
2D?
new 2D Metroid game in roughly 19 years.
And just gonna skip again, some gameplay. Man, those amiibos look cool. Okay.
Prizes are back.
Oh no, that's Just Dance. Never mind. We don't care about that. Do you care about that? I guess some of you do. I mean, I probably would, but I was more of a DDR kind of guy. So, sorry.
Nintendo Switch November 4th. The
Okay,
arcade
so
smash hit Cruisin' Blast
This is actually
speeding
cool
onto
because
Nintendo Switch.
Cruisin' Blast
Blast your way through nearly 30 over-the-top
was an
tracks.
arcade game made by Raw Thrills
Four players can
Incorporated.
race together.
And I actually
Pick
played
your
this
vehicle
before at
and
like a
hit
Dave
the
and
road.
Buster's, I think, or it could have been
Cruisin' Blast launches
oh
as a
shoot, I forget
console
what it's called.
exclusive on
But
Nintendo
yeah, I
Switch
know this is
this
at
fall.
Dave and Buster's and stuff. Like, hang on, okay, like you know, the last cruising game I played was Cruisin' 64, Cruisin' USA rather, and like that was like one of those really fun racing games that I just enjoyed, and it kind of like stuck with me for quite some time. And it's not like it's not about the authenticity or whatever. It's just like it felt like one of those racing games that was just like it's not Mario Kart, but it is fun still, and you can have fun with its own system and stuff. And it was just like a straight racing game, not many gimmicks really, aside from like Cruisin' Blast, like ramps and stunt system now, I think. But yeah, that's awesome, honestly. Like it's kind of crazy that Raw Thrills never pushed any of their games onto consoles. It sort of felt like an easy pull for more money for them. And I think it's like Raw Thrills Incorporated is still like is kind of like a pioneer nowadays for arcade games, since entertainment centers have kind of been coming back now for the older audience. I think it's really cool. Anyway,
It's the ultimate Dragon Ball Z experience.
yeah, I mean,
Relive the story of Goku and other Z
I don't know.
fighters through
It's
4
just
sagas
like
in this action RPG.
for
Saiyan,
people who
protect the Earth
we're
from
kinda
an
sick of
invasion
Call of
by
Duty,
Vegeta and Nappa. Frieza,
within like the
take a
last
stand
5 years or
against the
so,
evil Emperor.
this is kind of me
Cell,
with a lot of these
battle
Namco
the androids
Bandai
in a
games,
fight to the death.
where like
Majin Buu, an
it's
epic
kind of just
showdown
really
with
the same
most fearsome
format
foe.
with most of their anime games.
Along with the main story,
Um,
you can explore the
like
vast
even
world of
to a
Dragon Ball
degree,
Z.
Code Vein and Scarlet
Hey,
Nexus,
why
which
not
is
help
coming
out
out
the locals?
fairly soon,
Or collect
kind of feel the
ingredients for
same.
delicious meals. You could always
I,
train to
I
acquire new
know
skills,
we talk
too.
with their PR people
There are
once in a while,
lots of
so
things to keep you busy.
if any of them for some
Boss
reason
battle
watch me,
episodes, A New Power
I
Awakens
apologize.
Parts 1 and 2 is
It has
also
nothing to
included.
do with your work. I think
Dragon Ball Z
I-
Kakarot,
like, I
plus
honestly
the New
think,
Power Awakens
Bandai
set punches its
Namco
way onto
can-
Nintendo Switch September 24th.
could make some genuinely entertaining games. It's
Grab a
just that
golf
like
club and get
the
ready to
format
tee
just feels
off.
really tired to me. As someone who
The Mario
has
Golf
bought
Super
a
Rush
ton of
game
their
launches
games,
soon.
it's like that's just how it
Here's a
feels.
quick
Like
glimpse into
nothing
each of the
feels
modes.
as unique as like
Standard golf.
Dark Souls,
Take your time
and
to read
then,
the wind
like,
and terrain on the greens.
Tekken, really. And those are basically entirely different franchises
Hit
and
different
genres.
types of
So
shots and aim for
there's
under
nothing to
par.
really pull from that. Whereas like with anime games, they're kind of just the same. Anyway, Mario Golf, that's
Speed
cool.
Smack your ball, then chase after it. Be the first
I think
to
this
get
is
your
kind of
ball in the
cool.
hole.
I kind of have a
Outpace your rivals with special
I kind of
dashes and
like
special shots.
golfing games when they're not too serious. Like,
Battle golf.
I think it's just fun. It's just
Duke it
kind of
out over
chill,
9 flag-marked holes and in
while
an
at the same
obstacle-filled
time it's
arena.
still kind of
Capture 3 flags
competitive.
to win. Golf Adventure.
It could be fun.
Go
And this
from
is coming
rookie to
back.
pro with your
Apparently,
new character.
people
The
like
golfing
this
challenges
from
that await may
Mario Golf
surprise you.
64, I guess. I have no
Here's
idea.
some
I never
news.
played it on
Free
the
updates are
64.
planned
So
for future release, including additional courses and playable characters.
that wall bouncing though just
The fairway's almost
gives
open.
me anxiety though.
So set your tee
Like,
time and get ready to ace those shots.
Whenever
in
I played
Mario
mini golf,
Super
that-
Rush, swinging
that
onto
would
the
just,
Nintendo
like,
Switch system June 25th. Pre-orders
that would
are
just, like,
available now on Nintendo
start
eShop.
making me sweat and just be like, no,
Ready for the
I don't
ride of a
I don't want to
lifetime?
do this.
Welcome to the vast and vibrant world of Monster Hunter.
So, I guess this is really the only way Derek
rider in this
from
RPG adventure,
the
you'll
GG
explore diverse
staff is ever
landscapes
going to
by
play
riding
Monster Hunter
a
is if it's a
monster companion.
JRPG with rules he can
Gather
understand.
materials such as honey and ore, then use them to craft
Is it
items
okay
for
for
your
me to
journey.
blow him up when he's not here? I guess it's fine, right?
But beware
I'm
of
the one
many
recording,
monsters
he's
roaming
not, so
about.
whatever.
Some are docile, but others may suddenly ambush you.
I mean, he did
To fight,
seem more
you'll team up
interested
with
in
your
this
Monstie and use weapons and
just
skills
from us
to
talking
overwhelm
on
enemy monsters in
our
turn-based
staff
battles.
chat.
Win,
And I
you'll
think
be
it's like,
rewarded
you
with
know,
their materials.
this is definitely a
Forced
different
into
way
new
you could do
weapons and
this with Monster Hunter. Like,
Hey, is that an
Monster
egg?
Hunter
You
Stories
might be
is
able to hatch a
like
new
something for the
Monstie.
people
Incredibly
who are
powerful
interested in
Monsties
Monster
can
Hunter
also hatch
but
from
can't really
rare
get
eggs.
behind the core gameplay of
Need
Monster
more
Hunter
traveling
itself.
buddies? Join up with friends for
Um,
co-op multiplayer quests
Yeah,
and battles.
I think it's a cool idea, honestly.
Buckle up, Ryder. It's going to be a real monster of an adventure.
Like,
Monster
hopefully
Hunter
the game
Stories 2, Wings of
does
Ruin
well enough
soars
to
onto Nintendo Switch July
continue
9th.
it moving forward.
You can play the free demo on June 25th.
Although I
and
think
carry over
naming
your
it by
save games to
number
full
will
game.
start to become a problem if it starts to feel like the same over and over again.
Here's a
So
new
who
game
knows?
from the head of a certain company.
So yo, WarioWare is back.
Did you miss
That's
me?
awesome.
Hey, what do you mean? Who am I? It's a me, Wario.
I just remember Wario eats garlic,
It's
so
finally ready. A brand new
I'm
game
gonna
from my
coincidentally
company.
eat some mints.
Check it out. You get
because
to
I'm just thinking
control
about bad
me.
breath. You know, I want to refreshen up.
Time to do this. Look at me go. Whack, rats. Check out these chumps. They came back and they have wonderful new talents. Throw that stick thing. Not so bad. Use the spinning whatchamacallit. Ha! Nailed it.
Yeah, I mean, like,
Same micro game,
sorry,
different
I mean, I know I
abilities.
said this isn't a react. This is just more of an impressions video, but
I almost forgot
this
some
looks
big
cool.
news.
Like, right?
Two people can play
WarioWare
together
has always
at
been
the
fun,
same
and there's
time.
multiplayer now. Like,
So play nice.
what more can you
or
ask for?
else.
I mean, I could ask for
Not
New
nice.
Rhythm Heaven, but that's just me
Alright,
personal
you.
thing.
Yes,
So
you, the one watching this, better get ready for some micro game mayhem.
The WarioWare Get It Together game launches
Why aren't there more
exclusively on the Nintendo Switch
micro
system
game
September 10th.
type
Pre-orders
games.
begin today on
Like, I feel
Nintendo
like this is
eShop.
a genre that's waiting to be utilized.
What you just
Like, could
saw
you
was the
imagine,
trailer
like,
for
a
WarioWare. Get It
Undertale,
Together.
WarioWare type game and stuff like that?
In the latest installment. of
Well,
this
I know Toby
series,
Fox doesn't
there
really
are
want
new
to
microgames that
milk
let
the
you
franchise
control Wario with
like
his
that,
friends.
but you know,
There
like,
is also a two-player co-op mode.
I feel like there's plenty of
expands the gameplay.
franchises you could do this exact
It's releasing
same
in the
thing
near
with.
future, so stay tuned. Next,
And,
please take a look
I mean,
at
like,
this.
I think Charles Martinet is pulling double duty now, voicing Mario and Wario now, too. So you
As a
could
high
do like a
school
Mario
student living in
All Stars type of
Tokyo,
WarioWare
your
game.
life is
Anyway, SMT5. Been waiting for a long time for news about this game.
But that reality is upended after you get pulled into a different dimension.
So, sorry, hang on. So this is kind of interesting. Like, right off the bat, I kind of noticed a few things that were different from the other trailers. Like, you know, for example, like in the older trailers, there was like this girl that was next to the protagonist, and she seems to be absent in this trailer, but I don't know. She could still be there, and they just decided to go for something different. Who really knows? But
Another Tokyo exists.
I
A post-apocalyptic
what's coming up,
world where
it's definitely
angels
like
and demons
I don't
reside.
think that was originally conceived when they first announced this game.
Suddenly, you fuse with a mysterious figure, gaining the power to fight demons.
Got Tai.
What lies ahead in this alternate realm?
Looking fabulous.
The world is now transformed into a sprawling, demon-infested wasteland. Though friendly demons do exist here, many are hostile and will attempt to destroy you.
So this is really cool, right?
Harness
Like
your newfound powers to fight
I
demons using a
think this
command-based
is what
system.
a lot of people
Finding their
who were
weak
into
point is
SMT
key.
were kind of
By
hoping
targeting
for
it, the number of consecutive
once it
actions you
jumped
can
to the
perform in
next
a combo
generation,
will
just like
increase.
being able to interact with
Though demons
actual
are
demons on the field,
formidable
which
opponents.
I mean obviously
You
has
may
always
be
been
able
a
to
thing,
recruit them via
but
negotiations,
because
which
SMT4
begin when
and
you open a
Apocalypse were on the
conversation with
3DS, you couldn't do like the fully specific demon models. But now you can do it on the Switch, and that's cool.
if a negotiation is successful, a demon
And it kind of looks
will
awesome.
become a powerful
And-
ally.
I apologize.
some
This is gonna kind of
by
sound like a dig at
rejecting a
Pokemon.
demon's
At least
request,
it's like,
they may feel
well,
motivated.
at least
and
because of the
join
repeated
as an ally.
animations across the entire
Demons
series,
that do join will fight alongside
it doesn't
you
feel
and
as
grow
bad when
stronger.
you see them reuse it here.
By
So,
fusing demon allies, another demon can be created. The newly
Tyrant
fused
Beelzebub,
demons'
all
innate
one word.
abilities will vary, granting you a powerful ally, customized to your needs and playstyle.
there's a little bit of a frame lag that was there, but
Challenge the many demons
it's not
roaming
gonna be
this
perfect.
post-apocalyptic world by harnessing the power of your own.
like I know these games don't necessarily have. Man, that move looks cool. Oh my goodness. So okay, hang on. Okay, so sorry to finish my point. Like, yeah, like the Shin Megami Tensei series never has necessarily had like the biggest of budgets ever. I think like arguably you could say SMT4 and Persona 5 had like the most budget that Atlas ever had for their games. And obviously, you know, like with Persona 5, that was like the biggest push since they were acquired by Sega. So obviously that was like, hey, look, this is what Atlas can do when they have like a real budget. And you didn't really see anything up to that scale since like Catherine, which was on the PS3, which was a really long time ago in terms of Atlas releases. So it's just like, yeah, it's awesome seeing
power
them
of your
get
own.
like being able to like pull off even better visual detail now. And look at this pose. Look at this. The protagonist is just voguing right now. But I think what's really cool actually is like this is also like the type of poses you would see in SMT Nocturne, and also their Atlas's standalone series, Digital Devil Saga, parts 1 and 2. And like that was kind of that's kind of always been like part of like new SMT's aesthetic. And when I say new, I mean like continuing from 3 onward. I forget if Digital Devil Saga came before or after Nocturne, but ever since then there was always been like this more Eastern push in like the aesthetic, like even with the poses, like this, like there's a move in DDS Part 2 that looks very similar to kind of like they like the devs used a lot of influences from Buddhism, Hinduism, and kind of like the East Asian representation of Buddhism. Yes, in like certain attacks, some of their lore, some of the designs for other demons, for example, too. And I think it's great. All and like some of these new demons look very interesting, and it's I've kind of noticed that like with each new specifically SMT entry, they always seem to focus on like a certain like aesthetic theme. So it kind of feels like this one is going for like I mean, I think it's going more Eastern, but there's a bit of Western influences to like actually on the same screenshot here, like I'm not sure if you can see it, but for example, these markings on the side here, my friend Way Cooler, as he goes online, and I were talking about some of the designs here, and these silver markings actually kind of look fairly familiar to the new design that they did for Zeus, which I believe was in, I'm not sure if it was in SMT4 Apocalypse, but I think it was in SMT Deep Strange Journey, or Strange Journey Redux, as it's known in America. So that's also interesting too. And I still remember that way before, like even before they showed off the protagonist character, they were showing off like a lot of the new models that they had done to announce that SMT5 was coming, and you saw like Odin and stuff like that. I don't know if that's really gonna play a big part in SMT5's story, but I feel like there's been more of a push of some of the Western Hemisphere mythology, at least with like the last two games that they did. So that's possibly a thing where it could be a return to SMT 1 and 2, and kind of making it like
Shin Megami Tensei 5
Law
will
is
launch
more of the
exclusively on
Western
Nintendo
mythology
Switch November 12th.
type demons they're aligned with, while Chaos
Pre-orders
is
for
more
the
of
physical
the
version begin June 21st.
Eastern and some of the more like lesser known or Aboriginal type
That was the
mythologies
latest trailer for
involved.
Shin Megami Tensei 5 from Atlas.
I really like
This is the
SMT.
newest
You
game
guys
in the
haven't
series.
noticed. So.
Please look forward to future.
But I'm not in a cult. Let's just get this out of the way.
Celebrate 10 years of Danganronpa. Indus.
Do I want to cover this? I don't know. Like, I'm not all that big on Danganronpa, and I don't know. I really feel like it's kind of run its course at this point. I don't know.
fair.
I guess I'll just let it play for now.
Ahem, ahem. Testing, testing. Mic check 1, 2. This is a test of the school broadcast system.
If some of you have
Three games in
seen the
deadly
podcast
Danganronpa
episode
series
where
are coming to Nintendo Switch.
I kind of just didn't really know how to formulate my thoughts about how I felt about this franchise, it's just like, I don't know. Like, I think the biggest thing is just that, like, there are parts of Danganronpa that I do like, but I feel like the execution is just all wrong. you
When a
know,
student
like
meets their demise, a class trial will take place to reveal
like
the
it
culprit.
kind of relies a little too much on
They probably
the
moved
gimmicks
the body
it tries
there.
Use the
to
evidence you've gathered
tries to
review
front load you with.
contradictions and find the guilty parties.
and then as the game continues on, it just throws a bunch of other stuff at you to make it feel like it's exciting when really it just
you
feels
okay?
more tedious, really. Like,
Plus, the board game from
I mean, well,
Danganronpa
I mean,
featuring
again, to be
Killing
fair,
Harmony has
I
been
never
expanded
actually
into
played
a
it,
standalone
so
game.
if I wanted to give like a
Danganronpa S, Ultimate
actual
Summer Game.
experienced
An all-star cast
impression
of
of it, I
characters
would
from
have to
the
play at least the
Danganronpa
first
series
one
will
or
come
something.
together to battle at a tropical
But even
resort.
then, just like
Who's the strongest
just
of them
looking
all
at those
in
mini
this
games you have to
ultimate
do
beat
during
brawl?
the trial
The four-game
parts
collection
of the
Danganronpa
cases
Decadence launches as a physical
just looks so
exclusive on Nintendo
aggravating,
Switch later
and
this year. All 4 games will also be
like
individually available
and like the
on
plot
Nintendo
holes
eShop.
and the and the and
We
like the
hope
loss of
you're
luck.
not
See, I'm
afraid
doing
of
it again.
ghosts.
Like it's just anyway. It's got a lot of problems, but I know it's popular, and I know a lot of people like it. Not really my problem,
In this
and
horror
as a
adventure
Phoenix
game,
Wright,
we'll uncover the
as a fan of
mysteries
Phoenix
surrounding
Wright,
the ethereal
I'm
but
well
deadly
aware
Mount Hikami,
of
believed to be at the
how
center
these
of
games
many
how these types
disappearances.
of games can be. So
Ghosts
it's
frequent this mountain.
it's nothing
Your
new,
only
but
defense is
that's
a
just
camera
me.
that can repel and cast them out. Face your fears as you explore
Nice,
a variety
enthralling.
of unsettling locations. This spine-chilling story features various protagonists, letting you experience the game from different perspectives. New costumes and photo modes are included in this version.
Oh my goodness.
Can you investigate Mount Hikami and stay alive?
So Tecmo Koei
Fatal
couldn't
Frame,
really resist.
Maiden of Black Water creeps onto Nintendo Switch this
Or
year.
oh, Koei Tecmo. Okay, my bad.
These
Koei
games
Tecmo
and
couldn't really
DLC are coming
resist
soon.
putting waifus
Some
into
even
that game
today.
either, eh?
Your war is not over. Raise hell in the first campaign expansion.
I kind of
for
wonder
Doom
how
Eternal, the
this
Ancient
game
Gods Part
plays
1.
on a Switch. Like, ooh,
Deeper
that was
and more
kind of
challenging
rough,
combat
but I don't know.
awaits
It's hard to tell.
as you eliminate Hell's newest threats. In
Because I mean, like,
demon-infested ruins
the
and
performance is really
rain-swept
important,
terrain.
right? Because like I played a little bit of
The fate of
the base
cosmos is
campaign
in
of
your
Doom
hands.
Eternal.
Get slaying
and
when
it's
this
like,
campaign expansion
when
launches
you're playing on
Nintendo Switch
Ultra
later
Nightmare,
today.
that game gets rough.
Get
like,
ramped up for
it's
two
hard.
iconic
Like, I
skateboarding
was
games
like-
fully remastered in HD.
I was just like
Skate to
sweating
era-defining
from
jams
some of those
as the
combat
legendary
encounters.
Tony
It was
Hawk
nuts.
And a roster of new and returning pros. Take your sessions on
Anyway,
the go
Tony
with
Hawk
all the
Skater,
original
that's cool.
game modes. And compete locally
I
or
don't
online to
have
show off
anything
your
else to
tricks
say.
against other skaters.
Honestly, I mean,
Drop into Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 1 and 2, launching on Nintendo Switch
like I know
June
people,
25th.
I know a lot of
Pre-orders
people
are
love these
available now on Nintendo
games.
eShop.
I kind of would like to see like
After
remasters of
4,000 years,
like
said
Tony Hawk's
technically, Witch
Underground
Queen
and
has
American
risen from
Wasteland
the
and stuff
dead,
like
and only
that.
one
Even
group
though
of
I know
heroes
not
can
all
stop
those
her.
games are perfect,
The Strange Brigade.
I think it
In
would
this
just be
thrilling
more
adventure,
interesting because
you'll blast
it's
through
like
an army of mummified
those games,
monstrosities while
even
solving
if they're
puzzles in
kind of
booby-trapped
dated,
dungeons. Go it
they still
alone
had like
or
a
team up
particular
with
style
other
to them
daring
that I feel is
adventurers in local wireless
very
co-op and online play.
skater-like, rather.
Expect the unexpected when Strange
Oh, yeah,
Brigade
this.
launches on Nintendo Switch later today.
I was surprised this was not Koei Tecmo, because I
It's a
remember
new
there was a
adventure of
similar
cosmic
type of
proportions.
game that was released for the Wii U, I believe.
Mario and his
But I don't
friends will
remember.
team up with the Rabbids once again to restore order to the galaxy.
Also, this
Our
game
heroes
got a
must stop
sequel.
mysterious
I don't
new
know how to
evil
feel
from
about
plunging
that.
the universe into chaos.
I guess it's okay, right? Like, it's something different.
Rabbid Rosalina
And-
joins them. Wait, is she bored already? Explore planets
It's
filled with
kind
quirky
of like
residents and
it's
even quirkier
proof that
secrets.
like
And in this fresh take
Nintendo
on
is
the
kind of
tactical
like
genre,
opening up
our
again
heroes can
to
run
allow
freely
for
around the
more
battlefield,
more
creating
like
new strategic and
collaborations
chaotic
or
possibilities.
and letting their
So aim for
franchises be
victory
handled by
with a
other
little help
studios
from your
and stuff.
friends. Wait, who's that? Well, one thing's certain. This is
But-
gonna be one heck of a galactic
I don't know.
adventure.
It's just kind of weird.
Mario plus Rabbids Sparks of Hope launches into space. or
I mean, like the
onto
gameplay
Nintendo
always
Switch
looked
next
interesting
year.
to me, but it's just like I don't know. I'm not a huge fan of the Rabbids design. That's just me personally. Okay, this was a surprise. Like, I don't think anyone saw an Advance Wars remake coming back, right? Like, remake or remaster? I think it's remaster, really, so. Man, Soviet Grandpa is getting busted in here. So's Virgil. Man, a lot of the enemies, a lot of the opposing forces that they show are like the older. Well, okay, except there, but I don't know. It just stuck out to me, right? It's just like, why the older commanders getting dunked on? That hardly seems fair.
Marching on to Nintendo Switch this holiday.
I'll admit, I got a little hype when it opened with that. I don't know, like, even though Skyward Sword wasn't exactly exciting, I love the idea of, like, playing games that take place in the sky or whatever. It's just cool to me. That's awesome. Oh man, you hear that? You hear that, like... You hear that, like, synthetic voices in the soundtrack? So I wonder if this is gonna continue the, like the Eastern theme that they went with Breath of the Wild 1. It probably will, just going off of, like, those first few quick shots that they showed off.
So, what did you think? This time
I thought it was good. Aonuma, thank you. And I believe that is it. But I know there was some other stuff that was announced for the Japanese version that they didn't show off in the American version. It's probably not too important, honestly, but let me just check it real quick. Otherwise, if not, then it'll just be me wrapping up the video. Okay, no, that was it. So, yeah, that'll wrap up the impressions video for the Nintendo Direct. All in all, honestly, a lot of good stuff to look forward to. I feel like Nintendo always knocks it out of the park, especially at the beginning of every new console generation. Even if not all of it is launch stuff, that's really the most important part. But like, Nintendo is fairly aware of what gets people to buy their consoles in particular, and it's kind of like the mid long game, which is like what'll get people to buy and keep their consoles at least like 5 months, 6 months in or so. Which in one way I guess is a smart idea, but then the problem is like it always devolves to like people feeling like they're getting droughted with a lack of new releases of first party releases in particular. But I mean, honestly, first party releases aren't as common anymore. Usually because they're much more expensive and require more time to at least reach like a passable quality for them to market it. But yeah, so I guess like the biggest things I'm looking forward to, obviously Shin Megami Tensei 5, and that one's like the next big thing that's coming out fairly soon in November. And people who have tried to get the premium edition, I feel ya. It took me a while to get my hands on a pre-order at least. Hopefully, I'll get my hands on that when it releases. But Other than that, I think I'd be willing to check out the Advance Wars reboot. Just because like it's probably one of the few tactical RPGs that I've always been interested in, and I mean the new presentation looks great, and it just makes me want to pick it up again. I've always enjoyed the like the style that it went with for the Game Boy Advance and everything too. Other than that, there were some games in the GBA, or GBA, in the Japanese direct that I'm interested in, but not super important. Breath of the Wild 2, obviously. It's just that like I never really felt a desire to go back to Breath of the Wild 1 when I played that game. Like I basically just played as much of it as I wanted to, and then just completed the story, and that was basically it. I didn't really have much of a desire to go back to it. If any of you have followed me with the old podcast episodes when it was Games Under Grace, that's part of the reason why. It's just like I'm not a huge fan of open world games. I do kind of prefer my games to have like more conclusive and somewhat more linear stories. Other than that, yeah, that's pretty much it. I'd probably check out Mario Party All Stars. I think it's full price though, which is kind of a turnoff for me. I mean, I don't know. Like I always thought of Mario Party games to be somewhat worth less. Not as in like value or anything. It's just I feel like I wouldn't pay a full 60 for those types of games personally. But yeah, I that's pretty much it. Oh my goodness. I somehow made the video like almost 20 minutes longer. I'm just going to wrap it up here. Anyway, that's going to be it from me for Press Turn. If you enjoy this kind of stuff, leave a comment down below. Like the video as well. And if you want to keep up with Press Turn, subscribe to the channel. And yeah, like if you have any ideas at all of what you'd like to see from me, comments in the YouTube videos, on the channel, even my personal Twitter is a great place to go to as well. I'm usually on Twitter, keeping up on my art feed and stuff like that too. And yeah, that's pretty much it. I've just a little bit of a channel cleanup. So I do apologize that these next two videos are gonna be like months late from when they're gonna be appearing. That's just kind of how it happened. I have some other ideas in the bank that I kind of want to do. Stuff that I've always wanted to do as articles for Geeks Under Grace, but couldn't really justify it well enough to really be its own article. So maybe I'll do that here under Press Turn. Just because like I still kind of want to keep doing the podcast thing, but I feel like I'm getting a lot more ideas of what I want to do for the channel as well. Especially now they got like all these new assets here. Look at that! Look at this! Isn't this all sick? But yeah, I'm gonna try and be more active on Twitter as well. Just to like at least like and retweet a lot of the indie devs that I follow and stuff like that too. Just to like drive interaction, I guess. I kind of want to do stuff like polls and stuff too, to kind of see like what people are thinking about the channel content and stuff like that, or even just to get their ideas or opinions on certain stuff. But I'm really just trying to figure out like how to get more people to watch my content. Not for like monetization reasons, but just like, you know, how to get myself out there and beat the algorithm. A lot of research required for that, obviously. But anyway, that's going to be it. Stay tuned, and I'll catch you guys next time. Peace.